What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Irving TV. And well, first of all, let me say this real quick. You might notice the quality of the video might be a little look like might be blur spots on there. That's because the last video I shot after I finished shooting it, it was I dropped the camera, so it was like a little small scratch, some scratches on the lens. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So you might have noticed that I'm not in my Mustang like I usually am. And that's because I'm not. Let me show you what vehicle I'm in real quick. Give me 1 second. This is my 2001 Pontiac Sunfire. Show you around real quick. I know. She's not that much to look at. I know. She's not the Mustang. But this is my beta car, as they call it. Yeah. And I had it for a couple months now. And the only reason why I didn't show y'all that I had it because those are some other things. I didn't think at the time it would be valuable to the channel, but now that I came up with some ideas, I feel like I can introduce it to the channel. Y'all probably thinking, so Ira, why are you showing us this beat up old car? The reason why I'm showing y'all because, let me put my keys up. The reason why I'm showing y'all because there's a backstory to this car that I want to share with y'all that expands to another story that I also want to share with y'all as well. I'm about to get into that story in a second. The reason why I haven't really been driving this car is because, well, I need some work done to it, and I just finished getting some tires for the car. I also got some windshield wipers for the car because it needs to have an inspection before I can really start driving again, because the inspection was due 2 months ago and never got it done. Let me show you the interior real quick. It's a little dirty. Yep. And just need a few more things done to it. What it needs done to it is, first of all, it needs an oil change. I need to get that done. The second thing it needs is a serpentine belt. I could do that myself. Me and my dad can do that. And I can't think of the other thing it needs. It does need some brake work done, but I might be able to get away with that during inspection. We'll see. Yep, this is, if you go on my Instagram, you see that I've actually owned a couple cars before, and this is the story that I want to tell in this video today. So yeah, let's get to it. Alright, here's why I'm introducing this car today. As I said before, there's a story that I want to tell with this car, but it involves a whole nother story as well. So, let's get to it. I want to tell y'all the cars that I've owned in my entire life. I've owned about 4 cars, well, technically 3, because the Mustang is still being paid off on. But if you want to count that, that's 4. So, and there was one time I actually owned 3 cars at once. And that's actually a funny story. But, well, it's not really that funny. But let's get back to the beginning, because I want to tell you all the cars that I've owned. The first car that I ever owned was a 1998 Mercury Sable. I'm going to put a picture somewhere on the screen somewhere. But that was my very first car. I got it at 18 when I was in high school. And boy, did I love that car. My aunt gave me that car. The only thing she asked from me was $100, and my dad fixed it up a bit, because what happened was she had that car for a long time, ever since I was a kid. So she was driving it and it broke down. She got tired of putting money into it, so she finally bought a new car, but the car was sitting in the back. So she decided to give it to me. She just asked for the $100. I don't remember what work needed to be done. I think it just needed a new pulley and a serpentine belt. I think I'm not 100% sure. I would have to ask my dad. And that car, I love that car. It had a V6 engine, so it had a little bit of speed to it. At that time, I didn't know too much about cars, but it is bright out here. That was my first car, and I really loved that car. It was a perfect fit for me. Used to ride me and all my friends in the car and all of that, and I really loved that car. That car lasted me for about, I think, 2 to 3 years, I want to say, before it finally gave. I was driving that car up till I first started working at my current job, which I've been at for 4 years now. But before that, I was working at the bookstore. I worked there for almost a year. Then I worked at the YMCA for a few months, and then now I got my current job. So after about 2, maybe 3 years of having that car, it broke down, and this is what happened. So I'm all the way in Petersburg, right? And this is about almost an hour away from home, about 40 minutes to an hour. I know that's a big gap, but I was over there. I was seeing somebody, and for those that know part of the story, y'all know what I mean. But anyway, I was seeing somebody, went there, was driving around or whatnot, and when it was time for me to go home, as I'm pulling out, I'm noting that the car feels weak. So I'm driving, and then something told me to pull over. I pulled into a gas station. I cut it off. Then I cut the car back on. Well, tried to, and would not come on. It would not turn over or anything. So finally, I called my folks. I was like, I'm at this location. Can y'all come pick me up? It took them about an hour and a half, cause I think my dad was he was drinking when I called him. So he had to call my mom. So both my mom and my dad ended up coming to pick me up. And all the while my phone was going dead, so I had to go into the store, the gas station, to get a new charger or whatever. Man, it was crazy. So they got there, and we put new radiator fluid in there, antifreeze, whatever. We thought it was because maybe it was low. Like I said, at this time I didn't know much about cars. So we put some antifreeze in there, and we tried to make it back home, but then my mom and my dad called me and was like, yo, your car's smoking, pull over. Pull over, it was fluid everywhere on the engine, whatever, so we had to get the car towed. Finally made it home. Come to find out, it was a blown head gasket, and everybody knows that a blown head gasket is expensive. So, long story short, we figured that the money it would cost to fix the car can go towards getting a new car. So we was like, you know what? Time for me to get a new car. I was devastated because, like I said, I was working. I just got the job in my field, and I was upset because I was like, I love this car. It got me back and forth, and I didn't want to depend on my parents, be using their vehicles, like I said, because I'm very independent. So throughout the weeks, hold on, I'm trying to get my story straight. Okay, so luckily my mom just got her tax money, so she said she was willing to, pay for a new car, whatever. But during that time, my mom came up with the idea. Here's another story, actually. Came up with the idea, let's go to a dealership, try to see if we can get a car. Now, I just started working my new job, but I was only part-time. But it was like, we'll take a look. And at this time, I was in a Pontiac phase. I loved the Pontiac Grand Prix. Those were beautiful cars at the time. So we went to the dealership. We went to CarMax. We was looking everywhere. We had a price line. Well, we was willing to pay. And we came across this beautiful, I think it was a 2006, 2007 Pontiac Grand Prix. It was red, leather seats, and it was tan leather seats. And mind you, I don't like leather seats, but it looked so beautiful. It was my dream car. At the time, it was my dream car. So beautiful. Took it for a test drive. It was so good. But at this time, I ain't had no credit, whatever, so I had to get a co-signer, which would have been my mom. And then when they gave us back the numbers, they was asking for so much. We was like, no, we can't do it. And the car was only like $13,000, I think, which wasn't bad. Man, I was upset that I couldn't get that car. To this day, it is starting to get hot. To this day, I talk about that car. Then I started looking on Craigslist for a car, whatever. Then I came across a car. Mind you, like I said, I'm still in the Pontiac phase. Came across a Pontiac. I think y'all know where this is going, but came across a Pontiac. It was actually this car. I'm just gonna reveal it. It was this car. And as you saw on the when I did the look around, you saw I had a couple dents and scratches, paint fading, whatever. But I was like, at this point, I don't care. It's a Pontiac. It might not look that good, but I wanted a car as soon as possible. I was tired of depending on, my parents' vehicle, whatever. Like, I just want this car as a nice looking car. It's fast, or I thought at the time was fast. Like I said, I'm still learning about cars at this time. So, ended up buying this car, and I thought at the time I would be able to, pull that didn't out, fix that didn't, repaint the car, whatever. Didn't happen that way. But anyway, mind you, this is years ago. After that, I was driving this car for a very long time. I was loving it. It was good on gas and all this stuff. But then this is when I really started getting into cars. My friend slash my brother, he ended up buying a second car. So he had two cars. I was like, you know what? And then around the time, my dad bought a car as well. So I was like, you know what? I want a nice looking car, you know. I liked this one, but it had all the scratches and all that stuff. You know, I was dumb at the time. I saved up enough money. I saved about 2 grand. After that, I started looking on Craigslist for a decent car, you know. Came across a 1995 Camaro. Beautiful. Had this nice purple color, T-top. It was so nice. The guy was real cool. He was down to earth and everything. Like, when I originally talked to him, I ain't had enough money at the time. But what he did for me was, because everything was good, he actually took down the post, because I told him I had the money like the next day or a couple of days after that, whatever happened. Guy was cool. You know, he cleaned up the car, and it was a great transaction, whatever. It's a nice car. The only thing was, it required a couple of things to be fixed on, which I knew. So I got the repairs that need, at least some of them anyway. But then, me being dumb and young at the time, young and dumb, I was getting impatient. Then I was like, you know what? I want a better car. And I know, and I think y'all know what I'm getting to at this point. I wanted a better car. So one day, I was just looking up. Actually, I was looking up Camaros online, 2010 Camaros, and they were just expensive. They was asking for a lot. So then I started staring towards Mustangs. Looking at Mustangs, whatever. Then I came across the Mustang that I got now, actually. Came across it, you know, I submitted the paperwork online. I talked to him. So then, at this time, I was working at another location at my current job. So after I got off work, I picked up my friend slash brother, another one. We ended up going to the dealership, test drive the car. And let me tell you something, when I test drive that Mustang, I was scared, because I was like, this is a Mustang. This is powerful. At the time, I thought that car was powerful, when there's even more powerful out there. But anyway, I was like, I'm so scared. But bought the car. Everything was good. So then at this time, I owned about 3 cars. But with the Camaro, I took it off the insurance, and then I put it up for sale, which, sorry, I got to switch hands. My hand's on the cramp. So I ended up selling the Camaro for about, I think I sold it for about $1,500. Now I was down to, mind you, I still had the Pontiac at this time. So I had the Pontiac and I had the Mustang, and I had 2 cars. I was using the Pontiac, you know, to be my daily, my beater. And then around this time, after a couple of months, one of my friends slash brother, I have a couple of friends slash brothers. I have friends that I call brothers. So that'd be for another video. His truck was a POS. We all know what that means. If you don't know what it means piece of. He needed another vehicle, and I was like, you know what? I got 2 cars. I can survive with just 1 car. It's not the end of the world. So I was like, this is my brother. You know, he needs this car more than I do. So I ended up selling him the car. You know, so now I'm down to the Mustang. So for about a year or 2, he was driving this car. You know, everything was all good. He had a reliable vehicle because I took care of it. Then recently, he got a new job, and he ended up buying a new car. But he didn't trade this one in. So he didn't know what to do with this one, and he was ready to junk it. And all of us know that if you junk a junk vehicle, you're not going to get that much. I knew the vehicle was still working. I figured that it needed a little bit of work here and there, and it'd be a perfectly good driving car. And at this time, my girl, you know, she was trying to learn how to drive and whatnot, and I was teaching her with the Mustang, but trying to learn how to drive with a Mustang, yeah, we all know how that goes. So I was like, you know what? Let me get this car for him. It'll be more useful to me than just junking it. Like I said, it's still a perfectly working car that just needs some work. I ended up getting the car back from him, and now this is a couple months ago. Then I took it to the shop to get it looked at to see what needed to be worked on, and it was a couple things that need to get fixed. And at the time, I didn't have the money to get it done. Now that I have the resources to, now I'm starting to work on getting this car fixed up, because it'd be nice to have a little beater. And this car is good on gas. Back when I was working in Southside, which was farther than where my job is now, I fill this car up, and if I ain't go anywhere else, this car, on a full tank, this car will last me a week and a half, just about. Well, the Mustang, barely a week. So I was like, now I got me a beater car, a daily driver, and also a car to teach my girl how to drive and things like that. So that's the story that I wanted to tell y'all today, that I had 4 cars in my entire life. And this one was technically my second car that I just got back. So, and I know this is a beater car, it's not much to look at, but me personally, it's nice to have a second vehicle just in case something happened to that Mustang. You know, anything happens, God forbid, anything happens, you know, with my job or anything like that, I can sell the Mustang and I still will have this. You know, or some of my family needs a vehicle to use for a day or two, or one of my brothers, anything like that, there's an extra vehicle that could be used. So that's why I got this car. It's for many reasons, but I did want to tell y'all that story because y'all know that I'm a car person, and I know this was the most exciting video, but like I said, I just wanted to share that with y'all. And it's hot outside, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. If you like this video, go ahead and press the like button. If you dislike this video, hopefully you didn't. But if you did dislike this video, go ahead and press the dislike button because I always appreciate honesty. Drop a comment below, subscribe to my channel, and until then, promoting peace, gaming, and wings. Thank you.